Occupy Wall Street began officially, it was June 14th, and it was only 14 people that showed up. So between June 14th and September 17th, they were able to make alliances with other people who had concerns. So they finally took occupation with, this time, 1,000 individuals. The media refused to cover it. For 3 weeks, it's like it didn't exist. And so during those 3 weeks, it was really a grassroots movement of people notifying each other. Comes the beauty of social media and the internet. It was during that time that it was brought to my awareness what was happening in New York City. Now, for me personally, I have always said that the power belongs to the people, that we abdicated. We just turned our heads and said, let them take care of it. I mean, as long as I can remember, I was heard, what don't you talk about? Religion and politics and money. So that's what happened. We basically fell asleep at the wheel, and we allowed our public servants to mutiny and take control of the Congress and of the White House. I would say it was the early 1970s, and I will always remember this. I was a flight attendant at the time. I flew as a flight attendant for American Airlines, and I was on the employee bus, and I believe I was in LA. And I remember the radio was playing, and it was a newscast, and it was talking about how the middle class was going to disappear in America, and that there was going to be a huge disparity between the haves and the have-nots. And I'm thinking to myself, they've got to be crazy. Never. Not in the United States of America. Okay, let's speed forward. When now the 400 wealthiest individuals in this country have more income than 154 million Americans combined. You know, I heard this expression once that said that people are more motivated by pain than they are through gain. Our country is in pain. And that's why people are being motivated to come out of their homes, to get on the streets, and to hold signs, and to shout chants. Because it's time for us to take our government back. And I kind of looked at him a little sheepishly, you know, and I said to him, you're not going to believe what I've done now. And he goes, what? And I go, I've opened up a Facebook page, Occupy Orange County. And he kind of got a little grin on his face. I think he knew what was coming better than I did. And so we started looking at the likes. You know, when you open a page, you can like the page. And then once you like the page, then you can make comments on it. And it immediately jumped to 20, 40, 50, 100. And all of a sudden, it just kind of like, it just took off. Within hours, exactly. And now I think we're almost to 4,000. And I heard things like, Irvine is too conservative. The police are like Gestapo. You will never get to camp in tents in Irvine. You got to go to Santa Ana. They're used to all that protesting. And I'm like, no, we're standing in solidarity with Wall Street. Our financial center is in Irvine, and we will do it in Irvine. And there was a lot of support for that. So I immediately engaged and used all the technology available. I used teleconferencing for people who were interested in coming on board to organize. We had over 100 people register to be on that conference call. And we immediately organized into committees. We have a civic liaison committee that does outreach to the city council and to elected representatives. We have the logistics, which actually orchestrates, everything runs through logistics. We had a volunteer coordinator, legal, we had a legal committee. We had social media, print media, administrative infrastructure, everything that you would need to run a corporation. we had to actually engage on October 15th. So utilizing social media, as we orchestrated demonstrations in cities throughout Orange County. We started out in the city of Orange. We had demonstrations in Fullerton, in Anaheim, Costa Mesa. It created great awareness, and on the morning of October 15th, I was totally blown away. Over 1,000 people came out to protest. And on Saturday, that is a happening place. And so we got a lot of good coverage. Believe it or not, the OC Register has been giving us excellent coverage, as well as the OC Weekly. Do you realize that by the time this crisis is over 40 million Americans will have been forced out of their homes? And that is from the Center of Responsible Lending. Okay. Oh, when we went into it on October 15th, we knew that we could not camp, but we were going to follow suit like LA, and that was to sleep on the sidewalk. So that's what LA had to do before they got permission, was at night sleep on the sidewalk. So that was our plan. Well, at 9 o'clock they told us, oh no, you are not sleeping on the sidewalk, and you have to keep moving. And keep moving is what we did. And so at 10 p.m., everything had to be off the grass, and that's what we did, and we walked the sidewalks until 6 a.m. the next morning. And let me tell you, I dove from my sleeping bag. That went on for 11 nights. And I'm telling you, the people at Occupy Orange County are so tenacious and so dedicated, because it's cold out there at night, okay? And 6 o'clock in the morning, the village went up, tents went up, canopies went up, and we were open for business. And we stayed open for business all day until about 9:30. At 9:30, somebody donated a 24-foot truck, and the whole village collapsed down and went into the truck. And we did that 11 days in a row. And then we went into the city council. And we were not on the agenda, but we filled the city council. And 54 people got up and spoke as to why it was important for us to be able to express ourselves, to have the freedom to speak, and the freedom to assembly, which is, right, guaranteed by the Constitution. One of the things that we made a point of expressing to the City Council was that the tents were actually an expression of our speech.
Of your what?
Of our speech. Because those tents represented the 40 million Americans that are being forced out of their homes. And I will tell you, since we have been in occupation on the grass, we have opened our arms and welcomed people who have been forced out of their homes through foreclosure. And they had no place else to go. And they are staying there in those tents. And we're continuing to do demonstrations throughout the cities, and also down at the financial district. Friday nights are our movie night, because it's about education and awareness. Number one, we have to make people aware. If they're not experiencing the pain, they don't know it's happening. So you know, the encampment is a visual representation, and every time somebody drives by, they're like, oh, okay, what is this about? And people are stopping, and they are coming, and they are asking, why are you out here? What are these tents all about? And then Saturday's our big day. You come on out, you know. It's fun. You get to make your own signs. And everyone is invited. This movement, we've coined a new phrase. It's not nonpartisan, it's transpartisan. Everyone is welcome. And, you know, we've had some really interesting people show up on the sidewalk. But this is a free country with freedom of speech, and everybody gets to speak their mind. And that's how we learn from one another, is to be open-minded and to listen to one another. Because the weather is so severe in New York that they are thinking of moving it all down to LA. We're in for some fun times ahead. And then as far as the website, we do have our own website, and that is, of course, www.occupy-oc.org. For the most part, people are pulling their weight. They're doing what is needed in order to keep the village moving forward. First of all, what I'd like to remind people is we're not even 2 months old yet. Right. And people are like, you don't know what, you know, you don't have any talking points. We do have talking points. It's called the Declaration from Occupy Wall Street. And if you go to our website, you'll actually see a video of it being read, as well as a printed version. We have it in English and in Farsi. and we're open to, and we're also open to many other translations on that. Yeah, exactly. And so we have a list of grievances, things that the corporations have been guilty of inflicting upon the American citizens. There is plans for a national Congress in Philadelphia next July 4th. And we will actually be sending delegates. So, yeah, that actually, when I read that, I got chill bumps. You know, we have a lot of work in the education process. We need people like you. You know, this is my first step into the political arena. I have never done this before. I'm just a crazy mom who opened up a Facebook page, who happened to have good organizational skills and knew a little bit about social media. Because I lived in Laguna Beach, I actually, there's a lot of little discount boutiques down there. That's where I shop. Okay, I try to keep the money local. And that's what we need to do, is keep the money local. It may cost us a couple extra dollars. We may have to drive out of our way. But if we keep the money local, we can build our local economies. And these giants, Walmart, you mentioned Walmart. Okay, jump on our Facebook page, because I just put a link on there about Walmart. I opened up my Yahoo. It says, Walmart prepares for Black Friday. All right, already, okay, all right. And then there was an article that said that people were dumping their banks to go to Walmart's financial services. Okay, then I Googled, what is Walmart's contributions to elections and lobbyists? Oh my God, I got a huge report, okay? Walmart is a huge contributor to elections and lobbyists, and they actually contribute to both sides, but lean heavily on the GOP, okay? So they have no business, and this is Walmart, the corporation, as well as the Waltons. I always say that, I always think about the TV show. Yeah. But anyway, so Walmart is definitely a corporation that we don't want to put our dollars into, okay? The problem that we have is that if we keep putting our dollars into the pocketbook of the corporations, they turn around and they fund the Congress people that's going to affect legislation in their favor and hurt us, the consumer. So we have to pull that money back and put it into our local economy. So I propose that Black Friday be Walmart Red Friday. Let them see red, like no money. I'm sure members of your organization, you know, there's just been all kinds of people that have come together to collaborate to make a statement. And if we take all that power and that energy and really focus it, we can get our government back.
So thank you for coming here. And thank you for everything.
Well, that works both ways. Yeah, it's DeMarie Mulattieri.
And
Mulattieri. And again, the website is occupy-oc.org, and our Facebook page with the big bright orange is Occupy Orange County CA. We'd love for you to all jump on with us. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all.
Thank you.